ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests. First of all, I'd like to thank you for another invitation to the Unity Day of Ukraine celebrated in Chicago. Thank you so much. 2 years ago, I had an honor to attend this event, and I had a chance to say a few words on reflecting on the reality 2 years ago. And as we all remember, in 2013, Maidan events started. And Poland showed solidarity and support for the people of Ukraine. In the meantime, last year, we had a very big change, political change in Poland. A new president was appointed, parliament was elected. As a result of that, we have a new government. And I'd like to ensure all of you that support and solidarity of Polish government and Polish people to Ukraine has not changed. In the 1980s, the word solidarity had a new meaning in Poland because it symbolized bringing all the people together and saying no to the existing, at that time, political regime. But since then, solidarity has obtained more international meaning. And this is the meaning that Polish people sent to Ukraine. As a result of that, last December, on December 15th, Polish newly elected President Andrzej Duda met with Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko and personally delivered message of Poland's message to Ukraine. First of all, Poland will support Ukrainian independence and sovereignty. Poland will look closely at the observance of Minsk agreement of ceasefire. Poland would extend €1 billion credit line to Ukraine. And Poland, the same as the previous government, will support Ukrainian way to European Union and visa-free travel. So all I wanted to say is that there is solidarity as there was solidarity, and Poland will support Ukraine. Thank you for your attention. Slava Ukraini!
Now please welcome Congressman Danny Davis, 7th Congressional District, a great friend of Ukraine, to the podium.
Thank you very much. You know, as I came this afternoon, I was thinking of one of my favorite expressions, and it simply says that I sought my soul, and my soul I could not see. I sought my God, and he eluded me. But then I sought my brother, and found all three. How good and pleasant it is for brothers and sisters, men and women, patriots to dwell together in unity and of one accord. I thank you so much for the opportunity to be here and to share this afternoon with you as we express the real meaning not only of patriotism, but also the meaning of solidarity and freedom and what it means. You know, I still sometimes get chills when we sing our national anthems, that I can just imagine what it must have been like for Francis Scott Key when he looked out and saw that this flag was still standing, and how much that flag actually meant and how much it continues to mean. Sometime when I go to events and people have someone to perform the national anthem, I'm always saying to myself that I can't resist humming along. And my wife always tells me that I cannot sing, and she says, just make sure nobody else have to hear it or hear what you're saying. But I am just delighted every time I get the opportunity to come to the area that we call Ukrainian Village in the city of Chicago, and how much this community means to the metropolitan area, and the relationship that has existed between the United States of America and Ukraine. I've been fortunate to actually visit Ukraine. I had an opportunity to go with my good friends from the Selfreliance Credit Union, and we had a marvelous, marvelous time trying to help Ukrainians in Ukraine move beyond one level of change into another. And so to come to this luncheon, to come to this activity, for me, is always a highlight. So I thank you very much for the invitation. I am delighted to be here. And I look forward to the presentation that we're going to hear, because I want to know as much as I can about what is actually taking place on the ground in Ukraine, especially given the turmoil that has existed over the last several years. And I thank you very much and look forward to a great lunch.
Thank you, Congressman. It gives me great pleasure to welcome Consul General of Ukraine, Larisa Herasko, to the podium.
Доброго дня, шановні гості, високоповажні гості. 21 січня 1919 року дійсно дуже важлива подія в житті нашої країни, в житті нашого народу і, власне кажучи, в житті нашої нації. Тому що саме тоді, незалежно від мови, діалекту, від віросповідання, об'єдналися дві частини України і стали єдиною державою. 25 років тому, як вже говорили, відновилася наша незалежність. На жаль, на сьогоднішній день частина держави нашої окупована російським агресором, одна частина окупована, можна так сказати, їхніми військами, хоча нібито неофіційно. Але ми все одно єдині, ми прагнемо відновити свою незалежність і свій суверенітет на всій території. І так станеться, і дуже сподіваюся, що це станеться дуже скоро. Ми єдині. Слава Україні!
And now please welcome Consul General of the Republic of Lithuania, Marius Gudinas.
honorable guests, my dear Ukrainian brothers and sisters. I want to congratulate you on the Day of Unity. Even though I believe that unity is not a goal in itself, it's rather a tool. It's a very important tool. I remember when we were united trying to get independent from the Soviet occupation. And that tool helped us. We unified and we won. There is one Ukrainian name which most probably will say nothing to most of you. The name Yevgen Diky. This is the man from Ukraine who came to Lithuania back in 1991, being a student. At the most difficult times, 25 years ago, he was leading an international brigade in the Lithuanian parliament and protecting my parliament together with many Lithuanians. And that was a unity. That was a power of unity which allowed us to win. We were unified in Lithuania when we were joining European Union, when we were joining NATO, and that unity allowed us to win. We reached a big goals being in unity, one with another, in our country, but also having support from many people in our neighborhood, from here, United States, from many other countries. So unity, for me, is a very powerful tool which can build big castles, big churches, which can build lives, which can bring dignity to men and women. And this is what is most of all challenged today. There are forces that try to divide us in Europe. There are forces that try to divide us, Europe and United States. There are forces that try to divide people who believe in the same values, in the shared values. And as long as we are unified, as long as we stand together, we are undefeatable. And that is why I believe it is very important that I can say that Lithuania stands closely with Ukraine, because those people who fight in Ukraine, they fight also for our freedom. And last but not least, I am really happy that my community here also celebrates your unification, your Unity Day, together with our freedom. And next Sunday, they will have a huge concert in one of the main churches of Lithuania. The biggest, our diaspora choir we have, will perform here in Chicago. And one of the pieces they will perform will be Ukrainian Alleluia, which is written by American author, I believe. And this is another sign of solidarity of all people who believe in the same values, in the shared principles of life. So I wish all the best to Ukraine. I wish we stand united until you win, and then we stand united until any other nation which is under oppression wins. So happy celebration, and Slava Ukraini!
Now please welcome Mariana Spiropoulos of the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Chicago.
Well, thank you very much for the invitation to appear today. As a product of the immigrant experience, my parents came over to Chicago looking for opportunity, and so I can appreciate the blending of traditions and language and customs, and I think it's very important what you're doing here to keep this cultural center and the traditions alive. At the Water Reclamation District, we're a county-wide agency. We treat wastewater and we manage stormwater. We depend on tax dollars, and there's 9 commissioners that are elected county-wide. One of the most important things that we do is to protect the water supply. We know what's happening up in Flint, Michigan. We know what's happening in California, and how critical and important water is. So that's what we do at our agency. But in recognition of Ukraine Unity Day, we put together a resolution. So if you could indulge me for a moment, I'd like to read a little bit from this resolution in honor of Ukraine Unity Day. Whereas Ukraine's Unity Day marks the anniversary of the unification of Eastern and Western Ukraine in 1919 and is celebrated on January 22nd every year. And whereas Ukraine Unity Day celebrates the signing of the Unification Act, an agreement signed on January 22nd, 1919, by the Ukrainian People's Republic and the West Ukrainian People's Republic on the St. Sophia Square in Kiev. And whereas in 1990, the day was declared a state holiday, and over 300,000 people joined hands to form a 300-mile-long human chain stretching from the capital city of Ukraine to the city of Lviv. And whereas the Ukrainian Congress Committee of America Illinois Division, often referred to as the Chicago Division, traces its roots back to 1949, when it was established under the name League of Americans of Ukrainian Descent. And whereas the mission of the Ukrainian Congress Committee of America is to support cultural, educational, and humanitarian activities that emphasize the Ukrainian American heritage, and to provide support for Ukraine's newly developed democracy. And whereas today, the Illinois Division is one of the most active divisions of the United States, and the largest contributor to the Ukrainian Congress Committee of America's Ukrainian National Information Service. And whereas on January 24th, 2016, the Ukrainian Congress Committee of America Illinois Division held Ukraine Unity Day to honor the heroes, soldiers, and officers of Ukraine's armed forces, volunteer battalions, and civic volunteers defending the sovereignty, independence, and freedom of Ukraine. And now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the Board of Commissioners of the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago, on behalf of ourselves and staff, do hereby recognize January 22nd as Ukraine Unity Day. And be it further resolved that this resolution be spread upon the permanent record of proceedings of the Board of Commissioners of the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District. Thank you again for this opportunity to share this with you. Thank you for inviting me today, and congratulations on another successful event. Thank you.
Thank you. Now please welcome Robert Johnson on behalf of Senator Mark Kirk.
Dobry dzień. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. I'm sorry that Senator Kirk wasn't able to attend, but I have this letter to read in his stead. Dear friends, it gives me great pleasure to welcome everyone to today's Ukraine Unity Day event. We remember January 22nd, 1918 as a date that Ukraine's Central Council declared Ukraine an independent nation and free from the authority of the Provisional Government of Russia, and following year with its reunification efforts. Despite subsequent conflicts, the Holodomor genocide, and great personal sacrifice, the Ukrainian people were able to preserve their heritage, cultural identity, and language, and pass along such invaluable traditions to future generations. Ukrainian Americans have played an important role in establishing the United States as the great nation it is today. In Illinois, we are honored to have one of the most vibrant and dynamic Ukrainian communities here within North America. Ukrainians have always remained ready to answer the call on the preservation of freedom and for the ideals of democracy, even giving the ultimate sacrifice for such causes. Today, Ukraine's sovereignty remains threatened by outside forces that wish to see a less prosperous and independent Ukraine. The strength and will of the Ukrainian people is great, and I'm confident that the resolve will prevail in restoring peace and order throughout Ukraine. As Vice Chair of the Senate Ukraine Caucus, I strongly support efforts to assist Ukraine as it defends itself against Russian aggression. I would like to offer a special thanks to the Ukrainian Congress Committee of America, especially Paul Bandrivsky, Dr. Ola Strilchuk, Dr. Kortash Groshko, and Marta Farion for organizing today's Ukraine Unity event. The Ukraine Congress Committee of America continues to be a leading advocate and champion within the Ukrainian American community. As your United States Senator, I extend my best wishes to all members of the Ukrainian American community as we commemorate Ukraine's independence of 1918. It is an honor to represent you in the United States Senate. Дякую.
Thank you. Now please welcome Honorary Consul of the Republic of Lithuania, Dr. John Prunskis.
Distinguished guests, it's always a privilege and an honor to be invited to the events of the Ukrainian community here in the Chicago area. Lithuania and Ukraine have had historical ties for centuries. And I'm very grateful and honored that people come up and say, thank you very much for Lithuania's support of Ukraine. But I wanted to also extend our thanks as well. In our Lithuanian paper, this issue, the cover story on the front with the picture is the headline of the Ukrainians who came to Lithuania 25 years ago to defend our parliament. So please understand, well, I thank you so much for your expression of thanks for everything Lithuania is trying to do. We Lithuanians want to extend our thanks for what you have done for Lithuania and for freedom everywhere. Thank you very much, and we will stand together.
Thank you very much. We would now like to welcome Lisa Kohnke on behalf of Mayor of the City of Chicago, Rahm Emanuel.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. The mayor regrets that he cannot be here himself, but wanted to make sure we were here to represent him, and so I'd like to read a letter on his behalf. Dear friends, as mayor and on behalf of the City of Chicago, I would like to welcome all of those gathered today for the annual Ukrainian Unity Day. Chicago is proud of our sister city relationship with Kiev for 25 years. As we celebrate freedom and unity today, the fight is not over for our brothers and sisters in Ukraine as Russian forces continue their aggression. I continue to support sanctions against Russia and our ongoing efforts to aid and support the Ukrainian people. Please know that as the city of big shoulders, we stand shoulder to shoulder with our friends in Kiev and all of Ukraine. I would like to thank Consul General Larissa Garasko for the leadership she provides in strengthening our bonds between Chicago and Ukraine. And lastly, I'd like to express my appreciation to the Ukrainian Congress Committee of America, the Illinois Division, for the important work you do on behalf of the Ukrainian community and for hosting today's event. You have my best wishes for a successful year. Sincerely, Mayor Rahm Emanuel. Thank you.